Senator Matt Nunn is with us. Matt, thank you for being with us.
Oh, thank you, Ron.
From the free state of Sadie, but Matt has some citations that he wants to recognize the work of some of our first responders from back in May. Just a great celebration of delivering baby Millie, and just grateful for you taking the time to recognize their efforts, and we're very proud of the services that we provide to our community, and the people that provide those services are the most important part of it, and taking time to recognize excellence is so important. So I'm going to turn it over to you.
Well, you said it well, Judge. Thank you for having me. Thank you for everybody being here, and thank you for all you do for our community. I hope people tell you that often when they see you out in public. They probably don't tell you that often enough. So we're thankful for the things that you do every day, but as the judge said, sometimes you got to recognize excellence or people that go above and beyond on occasions. And so I think this was certainly an event where you all went above and beyond, and it deserves that recognition. So I'm going to read the citation. There's several here. They all say the same thing, but this one, for example, is listed for paramedic Cody Mundy. To all to whom his presence shall come, greetings. Know you that paramedic Cody Mundy is recognized and honored for his brave and courageous service as a vital member of the Georgetown-Scott County EMS Engine 6 third shift crew, which recently earned stork pins in recognition for their extraordinary courage, quick thinking, and professional skill during the successful delivery of an infant field. Inasmuch as this dedicated public servant has worked tirelessly to serve and protect his fellow Kentuckians and has consistently demonstrated bravery, leadership, and professionalism while earning the respect and admiration of his colleagues and the countless individuals whose lives have been saved or positively impacted by his hard work and commitment, paramedic Cody Mundy. Cody Mundy is offered sincere commendation and gratitude for exemplary service to his community and extended best wishes for continued health, safety, and success in the future. And on the motion of Senator Matt Nunn, is hereby deemed by the common body most worthy of its recognition. So, I wanted to read that so everybody knew what it said, but also know that I can't read those.
Cody, come on up, and then we'll just line everybody up. And then Cody will cross here. Thank you, sir. And then,
see here we got Chief Robinson. Firefighter Davis. Firefighter Skinner. Lieutenant Bennett. And Nancy Evans.
thank you all. Let's give it up. Hey,
Thanks for letting us do that.
no, absolutely. Master Corbin wants to ask if one of our first responders would just give us like a timeline of how that delivery happened. Like what happened, and is that
Just
what
a
you're
first-hand
asking?
account of like, kind of what you come up and saw.
Like somebody showed up at the Sadie station. I mean, that's how it happened, didn't it?
So, my partner and I, we were watching TV at the Stadiumville station. We got dispatched out to our station. We came out and we found our patient on a yoga ball in our parking lot. And in 3 minutes time, we had a baby girl delivery.
Wow.
It's pretty crazy. It was very fast.
I'll add to that. So when they were pulling the cot out of the back of the ambulance to let them go, it's like, we're having a baby.
Yeah. I begged this lady, the police, let's get in the truck. And she said, no, I'm having it right here. Okay.
Somebody passed out or got, it all.
Does she travel with this yoga ball everywhere she goes?
You never know when the yoga can happen.
That's true.
Thanks for sharing. That's great.
It's always good to celebrate, and nice way to start a Friday morning. It's a beautiful day here in the Bluegrass. I'm going to call this meeting to order. If you will join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. Let us pledge. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thanks. With that said, I will ask Ms. Hamilton to call the roll.
Mr. Hostetler?
Present.
Mr. Jones?
Here.
Mr. Wallace?
Here.
Mr. Corman?
Present.
Mr. Ellison?
Here.
Mr. Pratt?
Here.
Mr. Livingston?
Mr. Livingston was virtual. If someone, I know that's Jared. Let me, if you would, or David, or Dwayne, or someone.
Mr. Culbertson?
Here.
Judge Covington?
So with that said, though, let the record reflect that we do have a quorum and we can conduct business, take action. So the first item on our agenda are the meeting minutes from our previous meeting. Any questions or comments related to those minutes as presented?
Motion.
Motion from Kelly Corman, second from Rob Jones. Any other questions or comments? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Bills and hand checks as presented. Questions, comments as related to those?
No questions, Judge. Motion.
Motion from Rick Hostetler. Second from Kelly Corman. Any other questions or comments? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Let the record reflect that clerk fees from Rebecca Johnson's office were submitted in the amount of $152,354.22, and fees from the sheriff's office from Sheriff Jeremy Nettles. Sheriff Nettles, good morning. Were submitted in the amount of $92,046.78. With that said as well, let the record reflect that Sheriff Nettles and Jailer Broyles completed their training hours. Let's give them a hand on that. I know they're glad to have that finished. We appreciate you taking care of those requirements and being a student of your craft. And then number 8 is our next item, county clerk surplus donation. That had to do with some shelving and
Two sections of
shelving, and those are going to be donated to the Logan County clerk. That's the request.
Motion.
Motion and a second. Motion from Rob Jones, second from Rick Hostetler. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. That leads us to our Jailer Broyles Detention Center quarterly report. Jailer Broyles, good morning. Thank you for being here with us.
Good morning, Judge. Good morning, magistrates. I've got the second quarter report for you guys regarding the jail. And just reviewing it briefly, we were fully staffed with 30 full-timers during the second quarter. We had 10 part-timers. Today, we have 116 in the jail, with 26 being housed in other jails. And during the second quarter, we had during April a high point of 130. May, we had a high point of 140. And then in June, we had a high mark of 135 as far as the inmates in our facility. The road crew is a little bit more active during the summer months. And so you'll notice compared to the previous quarter, that they have increased the number of bags of litter and needles, and there were some tires also that did not make it onto this report, but they'll be increased for the second, third quarter, and then they'll drop back down during the fourth quarter and the first quarter. The net device, we're up to 44 participants with the net device, and I've got the breakdown there for you. The 14 have been released to rehab, 2 are still with us, 19 have been released. and 9 removed themselves from the program before even completing it, which is unfortunate for us because we still get charged for the use of the net device. So that's why the screening process at the initial part of our entire protocol is so important to really determine, is this person, not only do they meet the physical requirements to go onto the net device, but is their heart in the right place? Is their mind in the right place? Do they really want to make a change? And so we try to screen them to the best of our ability. We don't want to waste all of our tax dollars on individuals that really don't want to make a change. So unfortunately, 9 got through the screening process though. So any questions?
I would just say I'm okay with us missing on some of those. I mean, if we're
Yeah,
gonna
it's-
miss, you know.
Honestly, Dwayne, it's really difficult to screen them because so many of them think, oh, this is an opportunity maybe to get out of jail early, or it's an opportunity because they are separated to not have to go into a cell. So, I mean, they've got other reasons for trying to get onto it other than trying to help themselves. And so, right. Yep, that's exactly right. Yes.
Rick Hostetler.
So I also want to highlight, it's really not tax dollars. We're spending opioid settlement money, which is from the pharmaceutical companies. That's gone on nationwide, a large suit still ongoing.
Yes,
There's more money coming to our county, all around the Commonwealth, all over the United States, actually.
Yes. Yeah, I appreciate the clarification on that. I misspoke. It is not our tax dollars. It is our opioid settlement money, right?
But also, I would agree with Dwayne. I mean, you try your best, but it's unfortunate, in my opinion, for those 9, because I've talked to many people that have been treated, several in our jail. It's been a tremendous help to the ones I've talked to. It's unfortunate for those 9. In my opinion, they've made a bad choice, but that's their choice.
Right, and I know I've told you all this before, but we do the best. We, on our own, follow up with these individuals. Not that I don't trust net recovery, but, I mean, it's almost the fox guarding the hen house to ask them for their statistics, in my opinion, being a little bit cynical about it. So in our follow-ups, the majority of them are still being successful, either in rehab or out on their own, and they're being successful. So I'm 100% in with this program, and I think it's great that you guys fund it with the opioid settlement money, and I appreciate it.
One quick comment, yeah, just.
Kelly Corman.
Really appreciate the garbage and trash pickup. I know Dwayne will second that, because we have some of the same people and constituents in areas that call us, and, but it does make a big difference, and we appreciate that.
Yeah, I appreciate it, and obviously, and as I've said in the past, if you have any complaints on any particular areas, feel free to give me a call. We'll get them on the list, get that area on the list, and we'll get it taken care of.
I know Darren, talking to Stafford, I'm going to help them out quite a bit here in the near
Yeah,
future.
we're getting ready to start
appreciate y'all
next
doing
week,
that.
doing some work for Stamping Ground, which is going to help that community quite a bit. We're glad to do it, and we occasionally do work for Sadieville as well. We do work for Georgetown, and we have partnered up actually with the city on some beautification projects that Drew and Holden helped with. So,
Rick
I
Hostetler.
wanted to go make one more comment about the net device and its use in our jail. It's not only being used there, they're actually, Mary Safe Haven is using it for ladies in our community, and I think that's going well. I haven't talked to them in a while, but back to the jail, a great side effect that I wasn't expecting, but Jailer Broyles highlighted it months ago, is these folks that are being treated, because it diminishes the, it does several things, but it diminishes their withdrawals. They're much easier to handle, and I've talked to other deputy jailers at our jail who are involved in this, and they've told me, as well as Jailer Broyles has commented to our group here, it's easier on the staff, because those folks don't require, when they're being treated, because of that device, they don't require near as much attention as what I've been told, and some of the deputy jailers have told me that too. So that's a little easier on our staff, and it's easier on the inmate. Apparently, they're much more settled down when they're not having so much other physical issues in the withdrawal process.
Yeah, 100% right. It's easier on the inmate, it's easier on the staff. They require less resources while they're with us, which is a plus. They're less of a liability to having a medical event because their withdrawals are less and potentially not going to send them into another medical event while they're with us. So plus, plus, plus. And I mentioned that, just touching on the screening process again real quick, there are several jails that have started using the NET device. They have not been as successful as we have. And I really attribute that to the groundwork that we put in up front, the ounce of prevention worth a pound of cure kind of work that we put in up front with trying to develop the best protocols we can to have the device and utilize the device at our facility, but also back to the screening process. I feel like we screen them, we're doing a better job screening them than maybe some of these other jails are doing. And maybe they have entered into the process of using the NET device, I don't want to say more haphazardly, but maybe not as OCD as I tend to be with it. And so I think the screening process has benefited us in that regard too, compared to some of the other jails that have traveled down this path.
Jailer Bros, could we, you and I circle back up on like the exits and beautification and stuff like that?
Yes.
I know we've kind of tried to kick that around a few times, but now that I'm retired, maybe I can stay focused on it a little bit more.
Absolutely. So we're working on a park right now with the city, and then we've got several projects that we're going to help Stamping Ground with.
Yeah.
But we've got on our list the beautification committee. We have on our list projects after that. They've got a piece of property down here at Clayton and Broadway that they want to do something with. We're working with the city on that. And then we're looking at an area on Connector Road. There's like a drainage basin there with a chain link fence, and it's not very aesthetically pleasing. We're looking at doing something with that. But immediately after that, we're going to the gores, the exits and entrances off the interstate, and looking to first clean them up and see what we have to work with, and then presenting ideas to Park and Recreation or
Gets into the state.
planning and zoning is what I was trying to think of.
Yeah, but
not
we've
necessarily
met with-
Park and Rec,
Just
but
to follow up on that, I've met with Mayor Jenkins, and we are looking at putting together an RFP for the money that we put into the budget for signage at those gateways, and doing the cleanup and some base level starting of some landscaping. I think would go along with that initiative as well. So
I 100% agree. Yep.
Appreciate all that. And
Yeah.
and Dwayne,
We
jump
just
jump in with 2 feet, brother.
I just know we got like our legs taken out from under us when we met with the state at one time. And
There's a lot of, and we'll still have to do that.
Yeah.
But it is what it is.
And if I may just add very briefly, a couple of other areas that we're looking at as future projects, and this would require working with District 7, but kind of entrances into or avenues into Georgetown. Lexington Road, I think really, some trees and maybe some minor landscaping events down through the median that are not intrusive into the drainage system. Same thing with Payne's Depot. I think we can really improve those areas. So those are kind of on our bucket list as well.
Darren, speaking of that 25 entrance, one time when I was on a P&Z, we actually had a plan put together for that. I don't know if it's still in the office or not, but
Still have copies of it.
there was a, so it may be started there already for you, so.
Yes, yep, I appreciate it.
All right. Thank you very much.
Thanks so much.
Leads us to the next agenda item, discussion and consideration of a request from Bluegrass Metals Recycling for an evidentiary hearing related to a zone change request. And I believe the date of the actual hearing was August 14th. Proposal was a zoning map amendment for 53.5 acres from A1 to I2 heavy industrial. That's at 300 Sims Pike. And as I said, Bluegrass Metal Recyclers, LLC, had a request from John Woodall, I think on Tuesday the 23rd, for consideration of an evidentiary hearing related to that request and zone map amendment request. And I transferred all the data and the record from the Planning Commission to you all via email. And I would say that you have three options. You have an option of not entertaining an evidentiary hearing. You have an option of having an evidentiary hearing that only takes into account the record itself, and you also have an option of approving an evidentiary hearing that would take in additional information as well. Cam, would you like to make any comment?
No, I think, yeah. I sent out an email, which I think all of you got, to try to sort of outline the procedural steps here. Judge Covington is correct that the final action of the Planning Commission took place at that hearing on August 14th. So the way I understand the law is if, the fiscal court doesn't take any action, then that will be the law of the land, right, within 90 days. The 90-day date is November the 12th, so that would be the deadline. In order to overturn the action of the Planning Commission, it takes a vote of a majority of the entire fiscal court after, quote-unquote, an evidentiary hearing. The ordinance is silent as to whether relying on the record is sufficient or if you have to grant a separate hearing. We've reviewed this in the past, and I've also talked with Charlie Perkins, who's been doing this a long time. He's the Planning Commission's attorney. I don't think there's a requirement that you all have to grant an additional hearing to the one that's already occurred and the record that's already been shared. I think that's up to the court. And then I guess I'll stop, but the only thing I'll add is in that email, if you're gonna change what the Planning Commission did, there are findings of fact that have to be made based on the statute, and that's in that email I sent.
So are there any questions to the procedure? And then I always want to entertain any public comment related to the agenda item specific, which is the request for the hearing. And I would ask you to keep your comments to that, and then, be respectful of time, try to keep it around 4 minutes if possible. So if there's any public comment, be happy to entertain that. Ms. Cruz?
Thank you guys for...
This is Lindsay, for the record, this is Lindsay Cruz.
Yes, Lindsay Cruz. I live on Sims Pike. I sent you guys an email right after the planning and zoning decision was made. So I just want to kind of run down a couple of facts. These are all available online to the public. They can look it up. But I just kind of wanted to list some things off. To start out, we have now a Facebook group of 77 members of people that live on Sims, Rogers Gap, and Anderson that are adamantly against this. We could have gotten them all here today. Miss Julie McClanahan and I talked about that, but we wanted you guys to be able to go to lunch. So to start out, though, I just want to say we've got our little road on Sims Pike is growing so much. We have the Happy Spot, we have the Porch, we have Shawnee Run, we have all kinds of businesses that are starting to kind of pop up, and our road is really turning into a great little road. These folks have turned out to not be the best neighbors in Winchester, and this is all, again, according to a local newspaper. In 2018, there was a fire that broke out for 3 days. They had 35 different responding agencies. Residents were urged to turn off their air conditioners, shut their windows. Winchester sued them to get some money back, just to kind of recoup some funds. They then sued the city of Winchester back, basically saying, you guys weren't prepared. We don't need a neighbor like that on Sims Pike. But also, we can't handle those semis. Rogers Gap, most of the time, is blocked where the train tracks are, so we're going to keep emergency vehicles out. There's a lot of different issues that this could stand. Our road cannot handle the traffic because it's about a mile down Sims Pike. It's not even just right on the corner, so I urge you to think about the traffic. They also have a laundry list of violations. There was no groundwater protection plan in Winchester. Their water runoff showed a sheen and an odor, and in 2018 and 2019, they were fined for not remaining in the limits of iron, zinc, and lead. So I would just urge you to think about the impact of our road. So they're not held to the same standards as a landfill, needing, an actual, like a container for the runoff.
And just, I don't want to ever squash public comment, and I always want to listen. But what we're focusing on is the request for the evidentiary hearing.
I understand. I am asking that you guys.
You're sharing
Dude, I just want to make our point.
Yeah.
I'm just asking you guys not to even entertain this.
And it's tied to it, so
it is.
I
it
understand.
is. And I'm finished, but I would just ask that you guys don't entertain this. I mean, our community just.
And you still have a minute left, though.
I'm good. I'll give you that minute back. So.
Thank you. Any questions or comments there? Would there be anyone else that would like to make public comment related to this? Absolutely.
Thank you all. John Woodall. I'm here on behalf of Bluegrass Metals. Just left here late last night, and just some context. So, of course, the Bluegrass Metals hearing and the Legacy Run hearing were both heard in August, and then the second iteration of the Legacy Run plan was heard last night. It's just a preliminary development plan and approved, and roadways and access was predominant in the conversations last night, and the developer there will be widening Anderson and Old Delaplane and everything that touches that particular development. What made this unique, just so the court understands, is this developer, this applicant, is willing to widen Sims Pike all the way to the property. However, as Holden or Elise will tell you, the planning staff, or the fiscal court of the city commission can't tell an applicant you have to make off-site improvements. We all know that, but they can agree to it. So, the neighbors that showed up and voiced their objection, they're absolutely entitled to do that, and frankly, I believe, right in terms of the current state of the road of Sims Pike until it's widened and improved. The development that's contemplated here, which is envisioned by the comprehensive plan. This area is called for to be industrial. It's across the street from an automotive plant, just like the Legacy Run site. And, this particular business would serve Toyota in some regard as they do now. But the applicant just didn't want to spend, significant amount of money to engineer the roadway without being at least zoned first. They won't have a development plan, won't be able to turn the first spade of dirt until there's an agreement reached on how we do that road. But so with, when this went to the Planning Commission, it came there with no recommendation from staff, which frankly was the right thing to do because of the roadway situation and their inability to compel in writing the applicant to improve the road. But the applicant does want to improve the road, so it came to you. And frankly, Cam's exactly right. When an application comes to you with either no recommendation or a recommendation of disapproval, it's the same relatively for the applicant, because if we have a hearing, we still have to have a majority, a vote of the majority of not just who's there, but of your entire body. Anyway, it's the same way, whether it's a tie or whether it's a no. So we knew that going in. You're absolutely right. You don't have to give us an evidentiary hearing. That's what the law says. But because of this issue with the roadway and this applicant's willingness to make those improvements to that, which will benefit everybody, frankly, just like last night, a lot of folks are concerned that travel Anderson Road, Delaplane all the time, but what they're going to find out with that particular developer is that once his team gets involved, that whole area will improve in terms of how traffic flows. But that's the gist of it. We appreciate your consideration.
Thank you. Questions, comments? Planning Commission, any comments additional? And you don't have to.
No, just to be clear, staff had made no recommendation. but this was determined by the Planning Commission due to the concerns specifically related to traffic safety and environmental impact, that the recommendation was 6-2 against approving this. I stand by the recommendation of my Planning Commission, specifically again related to not just the traffic, but additionally those concerns for heavy industrial and those potential environmental impacts.
And that was part of the record, as you all know. So, questions or comments? Mr.
I back our planning commission. I came from there, so I back our planning commission, and I'd like to make a motion we don't have a hearing.
There's a motion on the floor.
I'll second that motion.
There's a second on the floor.
So just something,
There's a motion to not
Have an
entertain
evidentiary
an additional evidentiary hearing. There's a motion. There's a second. Additional comments or questions? Let the record reflect as well that David Livingston is present. With that said, then we can go back. We have a motion. We have a second. Any other questions or comments? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. We will move on. Thank you all for being here. And if you have any other additional questions, please get with me. Number 11, EMA Storm Shelter, MOU. As I've shared via email, this is an agreement that has been proposed that I think is a win-win for our community. The ownership at Sawyer Point, MHC, has pledged up to $75,000 of funding towards a second storm shelter at the Lyle Road location, just because of the sheer numbers that we have had during storm events. We had over 125 individuals seek shelter at the existing location, and really we're rated for 93. And that's just a high need area, and I think this is a win-win. The money is in the budget. Does anyone have any questions about the MOU?
Judge, specifically, where would this be located at?
Like
Same site, right?
literally, the easement is right there.
Right there.
Mike's going to speak to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, number 2 on the MOU says it's going to be right next to it.
Yeah, when we placed the site at 42 Reno.
Okay.
Excuse me. Go ahead, Mike. I'm sorry for interrupting.
When we placed the current shelter at 42 Reno, Sawyer Point actually gave us easement for 42 and 44, so we can place 2 shelters side by side and kind of link the concrete together to make it all handicapped accessible.
And this is where I'm going with the reason. So, does it make sense? Because if there's I know why the original one is, it is kind of in the center, but that part kind of goes way back toward the railroad tracks. Is there? I mean, should we not kind of spread them out, or is it because the infrastructure is there?
Partly because infrastructure is there, but mostly because we've already got the easement for that property.
But the other thing too is this: they know where one place is to go,
right?
And it's in a walking distance from a lot of them, and that's my 2 cents on it. And Chad, I think what you're saying, questioning, is very valid.
Yeah.
But I do think that it's. The location, and they only have to, they know that's the one place where they can go get shelter, and they don't have to, well, this one's over here and that one's over there. And then the worst thing would be is if we ever got maxed out and somebody had to go find another place in the middle of a storm.
Yeah. My concern would be they jump in their cars and try to drive over there, and then you got a big traffic jam and somebody gets stuck in the car.
Your question, I think, is a good question and fair. So the MOU is there. Any other questions about the MOU, and would there be a motion?
I'll make a motion.
And I'll second it.
All right.
Either one.
All right.
But just a quick question on the parking.
Yeah.
I mean, because Rob makes another valid point, but I still think it's best that they're there together, one place to go.
Makes sense.
And everybody knows it. But what about parking? Because some folks will jump in their vehicle, I'm sure.
Parking has been an issue for the existing one. We've talked to the management of Sawyer Point, and they're going to make some concessions, put some gravel in specific places so that we don't end up with cars up on the grass. But it is a concern. Anytime you put a place for 90 or 100 people, there's going to be some cars there. But the road, after the recent repavement project, the road is wide enough that you can park, parallel park on the streets and still get, traffic through. So.
Isn't there a church that's pretty close to, that's got some parking? I mean, it's within walking, isn't it?
They'd have to walk on Lyle Road.
Yeah.
It's not.
To point, I'm like, that's not a bad idea. Like, even if we went to a church or somebody that had a big parking lot, if they would let us build something there, and I agree with the one spot being good, but like for parking issues, that might be.
Well, and we went and visited Jimmy Dwyer, who owns that by the church. He owns that park down there by the church, and we visited Jimmy. The issue is the floodplain, and Mike.
We were probably 2 years trying to find a location and get it to a safe place where people weren't going to get flooded out while they're in that shelter.
That's great.
I mean, if I don't know if any of that church property. I don't know if they have any extra space that's out of the floodplain.
I don't think they do.
I doubt it.
I don't think they
do.
It's something. What you're saying is right.
Something we could definitely discuss. My personal thought is possibly making the gravel walkway between the clubhouse. Different. If you could park across the street, there's several places where you could put cars and still be able to walk a reasonable distance. So.
But I do think that adding an additional structure there meets a high need.
Yeah, absolutely.
And just one more comment. I actually think it's awesome that Sawyer Point, of course, it's helping their little group of citizens, but and it's helping ours. But I think it's awesome that they're willing to. It sounds like they're
definitely on board, and I've had a couple of requests for tours. Where they might be putting them in other facilities in their corporation. So, we may be helping out statewide or, even regionally, getting shelters for people that desperately need them during the storms.
That's awesome. Do you think, if you reach out to Fayette, like I know part of Sawyer Point is in Fayette County.
Yes.
Have we reached out like, hey, would you donate any, any amount and see if they're amenable to it? I don't think, what they're going to do is say no.
Because of the percentage, Sawyer Point's only got I think it's 1/10 of the park that's in Fayette County. It's a possibility. We could definitely explore that, but right now we're just trying to get. And when Sawyer Point is willing
thought
to.
The 50% pledge was a great. A great gesture and such as well. So, any other questions or comments? Would there be? So we had a motion and a second by David Livingston. So, any other questions or comments? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Thank you. And then EMA bid advertisement. We need approval to advertise the bid. Motion, second from Dwayne Ellison. Any other questions? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Fire Marshal MOU. This is the next item. John is stepping up. This is a request from Stamping Ground Commission and Mayor. And John, I'll let you speak to it.
Yes, thank you, Judge, Magistrates. This just kind of, we work with Stamping Ground a lot and just kind of clean up things, but, we had a restaurant that's getting ready to open up down there that had called us, wanted us to come in and do the inspection on it. Just trying to clean things up, and that's kind of where this kind of landed. So it's basically an MOU between us and Stamping Ground to be able to provide fire marshal services for the city limits of Stamping Ground.
And I think
we've
it's-
kind of been, doing like Stamping Ground Elementary.
Right.
We've done that for years,
But this formalizes it,
Yes.
and it just really gives a structure, and it's just another example of, working together and
Do you need an
collaborating.
MOU for schools, and do you need an MOU from like Sadieville too? Just go ahead and knock them out?
Not for schools, because they would be out in the county, but you bring up a good point, the city of Sadieville potentially, yeah. I mean,
Just go ahead.
they don't technically have a volunteer fire department in the city limits, but, I mean, it wouldn't hurt, yeah.
Just
I
go ahead
agree
and have
with
it in place.
you. Right, no, I agree with you.
We'll reach out to Mayor down there and
Yeah.
touch base. That's a good point, Dwayne. Any other comments?
Motion.
Motion?
Second.
Second. Any other questions or comments? All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes.
Thank you all.
Hey,
Judge,
thank
real
you.
quick.
When's that truck gonna get here?
Well, we did the final inspection last week, and, found some issues with it, nothing too big. They're actually cleaning all that up, working on that, and it should be rolling out of Wisconsin any day now, and coming. It'll go to Shelbyville, to Atlantic's facility, just to let them go through it, and then it'll be coming to us. We'll get in the work of putting
So
it in
when we
service.
get it, I'd love to have everybody out there and
Absolutely.
we all push it in the,
Absolutely.
push it in there. and-
Are you kidding me?
That money? I better not push it up.
Push it in because
Better operate yourself.
the current ladder truck we have is over 20 years old.
It is, and,
Be able to program it to drive itself.
it's a lot of what issues with it, it's so old that like when stuff are breaking on it, they're having to fabricate stuff to, to get it back because of just the age of it.
Are we
So,
keeping that
but-
truck as a backup?
Ask John a question there about.
Well, we contemplated it, we kicked it back and forth whether to keep it and use it as backup. During our ISO review, we did ask the question of, would that help us on our ISO scoring to have a reserve ladder? And because of, what they look for as far as ladder, that it really wouldn't help us. But our concern and worry is if we keep it, is, just trying to keep maintaining it. What's that gonna cost us? Is that cost benefit, worth it? We're kind of leaning toward not. We haven't 100% made that decision, but we're kind of leaning towards to just surplus it because of its age.
So would we try to sell that one? Like
Yeah.
that other?
We try to, if the pleasure of the court was to surplus it, we'd vote to surplus it, then we'd put it on the site. What's the name of the site?
We could advertise on that Brenda Lee.
Brenda
that
Lee.
sells fire trucks.
Yeah.
We could do that.
Does Georgetown have a backup, like, does at least one of you all have a backup ladder truck?
They do. They have a platform ladder and then they have a stick ladder.
So if like you all needed a backup, you could borrow one from Georgetown?
That's correct.
Okay.
Yes.
Or they would
Yeah.
just, they would
Or-
respond.
Yeah, or whatever.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
But what you've been thinking about is that tipping point of.
Yeah, it's like, is it,
Of
worth keeping it?
maintenance
Because is it
and-
gonna cost us a ton of money to try to keep it, to maintain it? Because if we keep it, we gotta maintain it.
Yeah.
It's a 99.
They don't build them like they used to.
98, so 26, 27 years old?
Yes, yeah.
I still work on trucks like it.
Thank you.
As a reminder too, Fire Prevention Parade, next
16th.
Thursday, October 16th. The parade will start at 6:30. I think line up 5:45, 6 o'clock, so everybody's more than welcome to come out.
Is
And
Marshall Cromer the Grand Marshal?
hopefully we'll have our new ladder truck here and we can, it may not be in service yet, but be
Is there a
able to
real
drive
chance
through
that
it.
that would be?
We're working
that'd be
on it,
awesome.
yeah.
Well, that would be nice.
Yeah.
Thank you
And
all.
we're, magistrates are welcome to come ride in the parade.
Absolutely. Yes.
And
What's the date on that
the
again?
Thursday night, the 16th
October
at 6.
16th, next Thursday.
At
And-
6:30?
It rolls out at 6:30. I think line up 5:45, 6 o'clock in that area.
And you'll
but if y'all
queue up
wanna
on
show
military?
Yes.
All right.
Yeah, yeah.
All right.
16th is Thursday.
yeah.
Thank you,
Thank you all.
John.
Appreciate it.
Next item is the Resolution 2516 Legacy Trail Extension. As I shared by email, we've done this once before, and it's essentially moving money to where it can be accessed, and this is moving $683,000 from the TAP funding to where we can use it for right-of-way purchase, which is good news. We're purchasing right-of-way for the project. I shared all the attachment by email, and then I'll let Cam read the resolution, and then if there's any questions, we can go from there.
All right. Scott County Fiscal Court, Resolution Number 2516. A resolution of the Scott County Fiscal Court authorizing the judge executive to sign an amendment to an existing agreement between the Kentucky Transportation Cabinet, or KYTC, and the Scott County Fiscal Court of Scott County. Whereas on November 17, 2022, KYTC and Scott County entered into an agreement for the Legacy Trail Extension Section 1, Phase 1. And whereas KYTC and Scott County hereby desire to amend the budget and scope of work agreement as shown in Exhibit A attached here too. And whereas all other terms and conditions of the original agreement shall remain in effect. Now therefore be it resolved this 10th day of October 2025 by the Scott County Fiscal Court, the judge executive is hereby authorized to sign the above mentioned amendment to the agreement, as well as any other necessary documents relating to the project, to act as the authorized correspondent for said project on this 10th day of October 2025.
Questions or comments, and would there be a motion? Motion from Rick Costover, second from Kelly Corman. Any other comments? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Next leads us to Parks and Recreation Board appointment. I want to make it clear that this is for the unexpired term of Temple Jewett. It runs through 12/31/27 is what I believe. But it's just for that unexpired term.
What year did you say?
I believe,
That's right.
is that right?
You say 37 or 27?
27. That'd be a long tenure. But I shared a packet of several applicants that were interested in serving, and we made a Facebook blast and sent that out. And
I read through all of them. I would make a motion for somebody that I know is very active, been a family owns a business here, cares about the community. I would make a motion for Todd Oser to be appointed to the board.
I would second that.
we have a motion and we have a second. Any other questions or comments? I'll make a comment. I just appreciate that people are willing to serve. And
There was tons. I read through every single one.
There's quality individuals. Top quality individuals. I don't know if that
Everybody was on Parks and Rec.
Yeah, I don't know if that directly reflects on the
Do
leadership.
you have
of
like
Parks
a real
Board.
nice lunch or something when you have a meeting?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't give them anything.
So we got a motion and a
It's a hard
second.
time.
All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. We'll let him know, and then Drew, you can reach out as well.
And Judge, we need to, it's been a great honor for Drew and the Parks Department. I believe this past few weeks, you all have been honored with accreditation, I believe.
Drew,
Yeah.
you speak to that? And then what's in the works is a joint proclamation.
Okay.
To talk about that as well, Chad, but I'm so glad you brought it up. And Drew, if you want to speak to it.
I'd love at your next meeting to bring the whole staff and y'all recognize them. It was a full team effort. But yeah, we received CAPRA accreditation through the National Recreation and Park Association. So there's only, out of 10,000 parks agencies nationwide, only 231 are accredited. So we're in the top 2% nationwide. There was only 11 agencies this year that received accreditation, and then and nobody in Kentucky besides us. But there's only 4 statewide, of course, Lexington and Louisville that you'd guess, and then Fort Knox, the military base, and now us. So pretty awesome, ton of work. But yeah, just shows that we have an excellent department, excellent staff, and hopefully opens up some other funding avenues for us as well.
The day this group made a site visit and went to all our locations and talked with staff, and Mayor Jenkins and I joined them out at Park, and it was just a good experience, and to have experts from around the country come, review your policies, review your procedures, and your facilities, and then come away saying, with the accreditation, it's very, very positive, and kudos to you and your staff. So I appreciate it very much.
Great team. Thank you.
Any other questions or comments for Drew? So JR and his team, as always, out there where we talked about installing the new playground equipment at Great Crossing. JR has gotten the site prepped along the hill and got the drainage in and covered up, and then the actual footprint is really flat anyway. So October 13th, Monday, they will be out there installing this new playground equipment.
Takes a few weeks, don't get excited.
Yeah, it
Won't be
takes
done
a
Monday,
little while.
but, yeah.
But I'm excited that we're going to have a playground at Great Crossing for our community. And I think it's strategically, this is kind of like the first phase of what we talked about. And then what I'd like to look at is using that hillside for additional, slides and little climbing features. And I think it's going to be a nice little spot. And we're going to plant a bunch of trees around there as well. Now, we will have to add a fence. And of course, we're going to put some mulch down. And then I think in next year's budget, a sidewalk from the Cloverleaf down the middle of the middle of that. There's a green space that we could get people down there on a sidewalk would be appropriate. And then we need to put, in my opinion, the little guardrails on each side of that just to keep people kind of in one direction. So that's something to think about, but I think having new playground equipment installed and ready over the winter and then being ready to go in the spring as well would be fantastic. Yeah. Thanks, Drew. Yeah. Drew's been very helpful on this process as well. Appreciate it. I don't have any new business except at 11:30, I believe, our Wellness Committee is hosting cookout and for our employees and recognition of service awards and burgers and such going to be served. So I hope everybody can attend that. It's at 11. I'm sorry. 10:30 there is a ribbon cutting out at Toyota for their solar field, solar array. So anybody's welcome to go to that at 10:30. Any other questions or new business?
I got two things. David.
Go ahead, David. Go ahead.
Okay, I was just going to say real quick, Judge, you're aware of this, but we were working with Lori Saunders and Tourism, and there is a concert out tonight at Great Crossing Park. It is paid admission only, but they have
tomorrow night.
Tomorrow night.
Yeah.
And they have sold nearly 400 tickets, I believe. It's up-and-coming artists from out of Nashville. So that's pretty exciting because it'll be a really good test case on holding events out there other than athletics.
Yeah. Thanks, David, for that reminder, and I appreciate that very much. Chad Wallace?
Holden, if you want to come on up. So on Wednesday, Judge and I was at a planning and zoning meeting. You want to give us an update on the RV ordinance and kind of where we're at?
So Wednesday night, Planning Commission held a special called meeting to consider a new RV ordinance. There was quite a bit of conversation related to that, but ultimately, and a recommendation was made by the Planning Commission to forward an ordinance onto this body for formal consideration. That was Wednesday night. Last night, at our regularly scheduled Planning Commission meeting, the minutes of that special meeting were adopted, and so right now we're working to gather the record on that action, and we'll forward that to you. Obviously, this has been a long time coming, but we believe with us getting this to you probably within the week, we should be able to hit that deadline of the December moratorium.
So we'll receive this document and allow you all to review it. And there was much discussion about whether you went the bond or the insurance route. There was the sentiment, though, is to put something in there that essentially addresses any potential environmental concerns. Is that the best way you would?
Yeah, so the original language that staff had proposed indicated that we would require an insurance policy to cover and then damages.
So kind of in this conversation, I talked with David Livingston, and one of the things that I think we might consider, and I respect greatly what the work that's gone into this. I don't want, I'm not, I'm not going to mess with the language of it because I think there's been a ton of work gone into it, and I respect that work. But the one thing that David had mentioned in a text kind of after this meeting or during this meeting was if you're going to put a requirement for insurance, the language he had talked about was $1 million per occurrence and then a $3 million aggregate. And then he also mentioned something called tail coverage. And David's on here, so I'm going to let David's the expert in this field. I'm going to let David speak to that.
I'm not going to claim to be an expert if I make a mistake.
I was just trying to be nice.
Yeah, the tail coverage would basically, so let's say an RV facility shuts down, the tail coverage could provide up to, they would be able to purchase the policy for an additional 7 years or so just to protect the county if there was any environmental issue, 7 years going forward. So if, say there was an RV place camping spot that shut down this year, the requirement would make them purchase 7 years of future coverage, which would be a certain percentage of the premium that they're currently paying now, and it would provide coverage in 7 years. So if we discovered something within those 7 years, there would be coverage in place to be able to take care of cleanup and damages and all that.
Appreciate that comment. That was the only thing that from that meeting the other night, and Chad and I sat right in here and Holden as well and his whole team. That was the only thing that I left that meeting, like thinking that I needed to bring up because it was evident that the Planning Commission wanted to make sure that there was consideration for environmental protection. So that's one piece.
So I'll just, the language that you're going to receive when we get that record to you currently is an adequate security against. And then, the language then proceeds. And so there was a lot of conversation whether it should be insurance or whether it should be a bond or whether there was even some other mechanism, a line of credit or some other thing. And so when that comes to you, I anticipate that it will, again, be an area of conversation.
But I just wanted to make a comment that there was a lot of work that went into it, and we'll receive it. You can review it, and then it's the pleasure of the court.
So if we make a change, does it go back? So if we say we want this tail coverage and $1 million, like insurance, like that's the route we go, does it go back to Planning Commission?
Yeah. It's very dependent on the type of change that you're making. If you scrap the entire ordinance and then just come up with something new.
Just as what we're talking, just this one section.
That's just fine. Yeah. So
I'm not talking about scrapping it, just being more specific.
Yeah. So just the way zoning ordinances are adopted, it goes from Planning Commission to you guys, and then you make a decision. But theoretically, you could also initiate a zone change or a zoning text amendment that would then go to Planning Commission and then back to you guys for final adoption. But for minor details, it's typically been the case that the board has some discretion.
Yeah, I would agree with what you said, yeah. But I would also add that if we're going to change it around a lot, we would send it back, right?
And that's why my comments.
Which is something we want to avoid, which is why we've been going through this whole process.
And
right?
it's something I would like to avoid, and that's why the comment I make is that there's been a lot of work that's gone into this, and I respect the work and the time that went into it, and I think it's very thoughtful. And
but it's also, Judge, important to understand too that the RV ordinance that was presented on Wednesday night, I believe there was at least 4 changes, maybe 5 that was done by the commission that night. So, they didn't, the work that had been done prior to that, they made amendments to that as well.
But it was not.
It wasn't major stuff.
It was not major. It was verbiage and that's my, But what I just wanted to do is I wanted to make sure to express that I appreciate and respect the work that's gone into it. And, like the Planning Commission was here till 11:30 last night, and they're here quite often late with staff, and there's a lot of work that goes into it, and I appreciate the efforts. So Anything else?
If I could just add one more thing. The reason we have, I believe, such a good ordinance that we're going to forward on to you is in large part due to the public input that we received along the way. This was an ordinance that obviously staff led this project, but the amount of comment that we've received from the public and the amount of changes that comment has created has been incredible, and probably is the gold standard as far as ordinance creation is concerned. And so I'd like to thank the public for their involvement thus far.
No, that's a great point as well. Any other questions?
Yeah, I had, not for you, Holden. Okay. So, Judge, I got up this morning, it was cold, I could see my breath. I wanted to know.
You turn your heat on.
No, I did not turn the heat on. The air conditioner's still on. I just wanted to kind of figure out kind of where we were with as far as getting ready for prep for snow removal and
Jeez, JR, he won't even let you have
as far as
JR's already got the salt spreaders on.
Yeah.
Chad was cold this morning.
Chad was cold. Did you go ahead and did you put Brian down this morning? Chad's
No,
on
I did not. I've got 5,000 ton in the barn, completely full of salt. It's packed to the limit.
Good tonight, Chad.
Have you got a spare shovel?
On last year's budget money, so we've probably got 75% of the snowplow trucks equipped. Of course, it's a little bit more work with the new trucks that y'all were kind enough to give us. We got to change all the stuff over. There's a lot of drilling and mounting brackets and all that, but we're
You wait till December.
we're on, yeah. Now, I've got a little issue with plow drivers. I've lost one a month ago and still have not replaced it yet. Still in the process. As of today, I'm losing one. As of next Friday, I'm losing another one. And in November, I'm losing one to retirement. So 3 major plow drivers, we may struggle a little bit this winter, so.
Well, we'll try to.
Billy Parker might be able to. I think he's got his CDL.
He wants to get those kids.
We'll try to get with Jeff and make sure we get those.
Well,
and if
would you please?
It might be wise to. If you're anticipating a retirement in December, have they submitted documentation to you?
Yes.
So if we could do a just.
Like what we did at the fire department?
Yeah, like I can't think of the word I'm trying
We
to
don't
think.
have any provisional employees.
The provisional. Like if we go ahead and just post the provisional.
Well, yes, because our department in a 6-inch snow and ice storm, widespread windstorm is just as important as a structure fire on a high rise, a 50-car pileup, just as important.
Does anybody want to make a motion to go ahead and
I'll make a motion.
What's that need to look like? Yeah.
well, I think to
Make a motion to
allow for
provide
us
that,
to,
provisional.
if you've got 2 openings now,
As of 3 o'clock today, yes.
and you anticipate a third,
A third one next Friday, and then a fourth one in November.
so
And 3 of those was major snowplow routes.
do we want to
I think you go for 4.
Yeah,
to approve posting 4 positions?
absolutely.
And please understand, you can't just take a guy that's got CDL license and stick in a 50,000-pound truck with a 10-foot blade on it out here on these 15-foot wide roads. It's dangerous. You got to give him training.
I'll make a motion to approve posting 4 equipment operator positions.
Second.
Second. Any other questions or comments? All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes.
So that will be just to.
Apologize to Chad.
I just
To
get
get
you
us
back
back
to
up
what
to
you
the,
Yeah.
right.
I second it.
That just helps you do it.
that gets us back up to the number the court said and approved in our budget.
I mean,
But I think
JR, at the end of the day, Chad Wall seen his breath this morning, allowed you to post 4 positions.
I know there's a reason I love y'all.
All right.
Y'all want to do a group hug?
All right.
Judge, all jokes aside, I mean, that's a pretty healthy hit.
Yeah.
I don't know, I know what we've done with the fire department and the provisional. I don't know, can something like that be done to, I mean,
I
we've
agree.
got 4 positions we need
Or
to,
at least a sub or somebody in the background or somebody's
I
ready.
don't know how that needs to be written up or how that can work, but.
Are you
we ought to-
expecting any more, JR, or any more retirements? Are you expecting any more retirements, coming up?
3 of these people are not retiring, they're moving on, right? Did I understand that right?
One moved on, the 2 more are moving on today and next Friday, and then one's retiring. at the end of November.
So there's no way to predict that, you know what I mean?
Are they moving on because of better pay or just circumstances?
2 of them are, 3 of them.
Okay.
All right, so we'll get that posted and let you all know how, keep you all up to date. Any other new business? If not, then we'll.
Hey, Judge.
Yes, sir. Jared, I know what
Yes.
Jared's going to say.
Yeah, go ahead. It's just a reminder, Saturday the 18th, Super Recycling Day.
Super Recycling Day.
Yes, Saturday, it's from 7 a.m. to 2 p.m. You'll go in gate 3 and go down to gate 1 in the gravel lot. And I'd just like to thank Jack and the News Graphic for a good story about it Tuesday. So if anybody's got any questions, always call our office.
Jack's sitting in the front row and he gave you thumbs up. I'm glad you reminded us, and we've really pushed that on social media, and I have seen a ton on social media of people sharing it.
Yeah.
So we're very thankful for the partnership with Toyota and the city of Georgetown as well, and it really is a big deal. So with that said, if no other new business, then is there a motion to adjourn?
Motion.
Motion by David Liddy, second by Hostetler. All those in favor? We're adjourned.